How do you create change in the universe? How does one bring change to their world, to nature? You cannot bring change to objects or laws by trying to warp them or break them. We are usually too distracted by the desire and the duality to remember this. All objects or laws are only relative to the location of your perception within consciousness. Change the context of your perception, then all objects and laws will no longer apply. And then different laws can be discovered. The objective of a law is to impose obedience to all that it is relative to. Ultimately, what we're supposed to learn about law is not found within obeying or disobeying the law, but that any and all laws are relative. It's all about the relativity. Conscious perception is something that can conceptualize laws. A law could really be said to no longer exist if it is not perceived by consciousness. So the way to ultimately bring change is to change the perception. Very few address the context of reality. They are too caught up, impassioned by desire. Too caught up in it to take a step back and observe what it is that is going on. Desperate clinging to constructs that reflect the self. Selfish, ego-driven desire is hard to give up. It is addicting. It's the major hurdle from beginner to intermediate. Not all men will even realize that it's a choice. Pleasure seems like a best friend. But pleasure is not happiness. In a state of happiness, in a state of peace and tranquility, there are two modes of mood, emotion, or feeling that are permissible, and that is detached love and humor. Happiness, peace, contentment, and tranquility are from non-indulgence in pleasures and pains. Indulgence in food, sex, passion, dull our awarenesses and increase sloth, motivation loss, apathy, complacency, and further selfishness. Mankind must recognize the distaste of pleasure as he does pain. Both drain you of energy, wasted energy spent gratifying an addiction to attachments. Drop your addiction to the attachments and desires of the things of this world and elevate your consciousness and do everything you can to help other sentient consciousness. Really truly do this and all will follow you. All will emulate your behavior. And this seems to be the rule of collective consciousness. When enough self-aware consciousnesses become aware of something, it spreads to the collective, especially when it's something that upgrades or enhances the conscious experience. When all are in the darkness, if just one uses a light, soon all will use light. And this is how consciousness undergoes an upgrade, reaches a higher state of consciousness. And the higher states of consciousness always gets adapted to what becomes the majority. The collective will always trump the individual. And essentially, any consciousness that does not accept the upgrade is subject to extinction, and more times than not goes extinct. It's happened before. Instinct to self-awareness, the most recent stage of consciousness that we can look back on. All those that didn't accept the upgrade has dwindled down into something that is now almost extinct. Are there any human beings left out there that truly operate on pure instinct anymore? Most have taken the upgrade to self-awareness. For what we're calling the most advanced species on the planet, human beings, it is the predominant operating system. Species considered less advanced than human beings either operate with limited self-awareness or operate on instinct. So for this planet, mankind possesses the most superior form of consciousness, and this could be said to be full self-awareness. But why are we to assume that full self-awareness is a destination reached? Evolution of consciousness and form ends here? More like it goes on forever and never stops changing. And the next consciousness upgrade that we receive will be of selfless, enlightened wisdom, the awareness that all is one. It's all you. Anything in the external world is a metaphor for what's going on inside you. Yeah, there are many, but that many is really only one. And there's only one you that you know is you, and that is you. Realizing this will create harmony for all. It will create harmony for you. Your enlightenment will help enlighten all of mankind. It gets adaptable by imitation until it is widespread. And what is beneficial to imitate? Meditation, study, selfless service, experiments with psychoactives are just a few of the imitation-worthy acts that act as gateways into the universal mind frame. Mankind's next step should be one of compassion as a given. Getting over selfishness is the first hurdle. Becoming selfless is the second hurdle. But once you get over that hurdle, you become a light in the darkness. Your gifts can no longer be concealed. You go from being intermediate to advanced. You become the example others will follow. There is plenty of room for you to do this. There is still time for you to do this. Go at this with abandon and vigor. Go bananas with giving. Believe it, live it, and it will spread. When helping others, be aggressive. Do not enable them. Things need not be tailored to baby, self-important men. It appeases selfish men to treat them with kid gloves, to give them too much respect. And don't get it wrong, it's not about masters, gurus, or teachers. It's not about teachers or the teachings. These are all tools. They are only supposed to be selfless servants, not put on a pedestal. Someone is shining a light for you, so now you must shine a light for others. This is all that a guru, a teacher, a sage, a master is doing. What true sages cannot promote, they can't ask for things or reach out to the collective and impose anything. The world must lift up and supply the sages. Anything is possible. Widespread collective creative belief, will, and imagination stemming from suggestions mold our world. This is why belief in anything being possible is key. Devote yourself to true wisdom of the world. Taoism, Buddhism. Spread wisdom, discipline, freedom, and enlightenment. Because freedom is dangerous, free will, choice, and action must be mastered and practiced responsibly. Expect no rewards, fame, or money. Things in life that receive awards are in dubious categories. Reject everything laid down previously in history. Concern all the doings from the past, all the selfish and arrogant pursuits, as an obstacle or as a reference, not something to adapt to. All religions are just derivative of true wisdom and should only be used as references or as anti-role models. They become the enemy, the seats of evil, the house of selfishness. Anonymous acts of evil are common. Anonymous acts of good are rare. But still, enlightenment is possible. But it will be difficult because selfishness doesn't want to let go. It will attempt to obstruct no matter what. The truly selfish are a minority that create disharmony through giving out bribes. Prove them wrong. Reject temptation and want. Reject all suggestions that are rooted in selfishness or the subsequent suicidal suggestions selfishness makes when confronted with its own demise. It plays the victim. Selfishness poses the biggest problem. Selfishness is a cornered wild animal that will try to destroy itself, others, the whole world in a bid to save itself. Non-violence is always the key response to selfishness. There will be no need for you to step in and save the day against suicidal selfishness trying to destroy everything in a blaze of glory. You need just realize that all is one, and that through detachment you will harmonize the world. Selfishness will be wiped out, and it will happen naturally. You won't have to raise a finger. So let the healing begin, the freedom of mind. Free yourself and free others. This is all that you should be doing, because it's all about what you can give to the world, not what you can take.